Do you ever get that feeling that your deck could be better? That's what I'm going to talk about today. Is people who constantly ask themselves what they could do to change their deck, but they don't know what to change. For instance, myself, I go to locals every week. I go to regionals as much as I can, and I go to big tournaments whenever they're close. And after I play it, even if I do well, right after I'm done playing it, I will feel like there's something wrong with the deck that needs to be changed, even if it ran perfectly. When I topped my regionals, I was like, alright, I topped my regionals. This should be a pretty good a deck. Maybe I can stick with it for a while, right? No. Like, 2 days later, I was like, alright, I gotta change blah, 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 blah. I gotta change this and that. So I was just wondering if, like what do you do if you always have that feeling, but you don't know what to change? And I found out that you stick with your best build. You find the build that you like the most and that was fun for you and that you played the best. I change around my Dark World build constantly. I'm talking about constantly. I'm going to regionals this Saturday, and I've been changing around my deck maybe 4 or 5 times because I want to get the perfect deck. I want a top 8. And so, you know what? I realized that the last regionals, Butler, PA, I changed around my deck maybe 5-6 times within the last 3 days before the event. And my final build was the very first build I had made. It was the first one I made. I was looking at it, and I was like, this looks ridiculously close to the very first original build I had planned at playing at the regionals. And then all my friends were like, oh yeah, you're right. And look what happened. I got my invite. I played it really well. So I feel like when you have a deck and you have it built the way you like it, and you play it at a locals, and even if you do well, if you ever feel the need to change it, in my opinion, don't. Play it until you don't do good. Play it until you scrub out. Play it until you're not doing as well as you had hoped, or if there is a better card that you could play over one thing, then I guess change that, like if a new card came out for your set. But usually it's the first build. It's your gut feeling is always the best. So when you make a build and you're like, alright, I like this build, that's your gut feeling. But then when you're like, uh-oh, I gotta change this, that's not your gut, that's your conscious. That's your conscious telling you maybe this build isn't good enough. But always go with your gut. So when you have your first build, fucking play your first build and do good. And that's what happened to me. So I've been changing on this deck. I made a couple changes. I'm going to show you guys my deck list that I'm building for regionals. The one I showed you before, I found out I didn't like it because I've been changing it around so much. And I'm pretty much back to what I played at Butler with a lot of, well, I mean, I get with a couple tech cards, so I'll be showing you that. And I know you don't like super long deck profiles because most of you know what are in Dark Worlds. So I'm going to try to cut it down maybe below like 8 minutes, because one of them was like 11 and then my original recap was like 20. I was like, fuck, that's a long ass video. So yeah, I'm gonna go through it. I'm just gonna explain my tech cards. I'm not gonna explain all the cards, especially like staples and stuff like that. But I'll explain my tech cards and stuff like that. And somebody on Dueling Network requested that I kind of explain how to use Dark World decks, just because he started playing it and he's not as familiar. So shout out to him. I will be doing that shortly. Alright, that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about changing around your decks constantly. And if you have anything to say or any thoughts. Alright, thanks. Look out for all my stuff. And click on some ads if you can. Help me out. Peace, guys. DarkworldMOFO, out.